Hi, I'm Beryl, and the theme for today's episode is strawberries. I'm trying to dress on brand for the episode. Today we have 5 strawberry dishes from 5 countries. Sweet, savory, all of the above. Let's begin.
Hi, I'm Roza. I grew up in the United States in a Ukrainian household, but I now live in London in the UK. The dish I want to share with you today is called Vareniki's Polunytseyu, or Vareniki with strawberries. This is a dumpling filled with strawberries, cooked and coated with butter. They're usually served with sour cream, like most Ukrainian food. Most people know Vareniki as pierogi by their Polish name, and they know them as a savory dish with potato or cheese stuffing. But this is actually a very popular and common Ukrainian dish as well, and the options for Vareniki stuffing go way beyond potatoes. I think this dish really exemplifies Ukrainian cooking. Ukrainian cuisine developed through times of poverty and hardship, so the ingredients are really simple and accessible, but are transformed through hard work and a bit of time. I love this dish because it's kind of surprising in a way. I don't think fruit is that common of a dumpling filling, but it works so well here, especially when paired with the sour cream, which balances out the sweetness. It's warm and cozy and buttery, but also fresh at the same time somehow. I've actually never made these personally because my grandma usually makes them for us. She makes big batches and freezes them and distributes them throughout her children's families. It's great to have a frozen batch on hand because these can be ready in less than 10 minutes. Ukrainians aren't very outwardly affectionate people, but I think love comes through actions, and every time I eat these, I feel the love behind them. I'm in London alone with all my family in Ukraine or the US, so nobody around me really understands what I'm going through right now with the war. So I've been making a lot more Ukrainian food recently to feel closer to my people and to my culture. I'm sure many of you are looking for ways to support and help throughout this time, and continuing to donate and spread awareness is really important. But another way to support is through learning more about Ukrainian culture, and food is one way to do that. I think Ukrainian food has been so overlooked and is really not well known, but it's so delicious and uses very simple ingredients that are accessible to most everyone. I really hope you make and enjoy this dish and a lot of other Ukrainian food as well, and appreciate the beauty of it. And I hope that you can see what we're fighting to preserve and to protect. Thanks.
We're starting with the Ukrainian Vareniki, and I wanted to parrot what Roza said because I thought it was really important that for a lot of us, what's happening in Ukraine right now is really, really heartbreaking. And it's easy to only look at the country through the headlines that we read on the news. But a country is more than just the headlines, and understanding the food and the culture there is another way of showing solidarity and support, because the erasure of culture is a part of war. So keeping it alive is very important. So I'm excited that you all can learn about these today, and I want to mention that I filmed an entire episode about Vareniki in this new dumpling series, and I have been holding back on publishing it because I just felt like it wasn't an appropriate time, but I think that I'm going to now, and I will link it in the description, so if it's already out, you can see it, and if not, just keep your eyes out. Anything with sour cream. Wow. I've never had these stuffed with fruit before. It's an entirely different experience from the traditional ones that are stuffed with potatoes and onions. It tastes like strawberry shortcake. It's like sweet, but then you have the fattiness of the sour cream, which kind of cuts through it. I will say, making the dough without a dough mixer was a little bit of a humbling experience because the recipe was like, now put the mixer on knead for 15 minutes. And I was like, but these are the mixers. So I was just like, I felt like a grandma in her kitchen, just like kneading the dough for a long time. I had to take some breaks. I do think that the dough is good though. It's a simple dough to make. It is very forgiving. I think ultimately this is a simple dumpling recipe that anybody could recreate anywhere in the world, and it allows you to interact and learn about Ukrainian culture in a way that is a little bit more real and a little bit more sensitive than just reading news headlines. And there's something really important about that, about understanding the history and the culture of a place. And food is, as you know, a really good way to do that.
everyone.
My name is Wasi.
And my name is Ayesha.
We are originally from Bangladesh, but we currently live in London. The dish we'd like to share with you is strawberry bhorta or strawberry makha. The fruit strawberry doesn't have a name in Bangla, but it can be roughly translated to tossed or mashed strawberry. It's a relatively new fruit in Bangladesh, and you'd be surprised to know strawberries weren't available in the Bangladeshi markets until the last decade or so.
So the dish basically is sliced up strawberries mixed with a little bit of mustard oil, chili, sugar, some rock salt, a little bit of lime juice. And the best part of this dish is that all you need is a bowl and a spoon and maybe a knife if you want to slice up the strawberries. And then maybe eat it with a toothpick, one slice at a time.
The soury taste of strawberry, the pungent taste of mustard oil, the fresh heat of green chilies, plus the sweetness of sugar makes this dish almost like a carnival in your mouth. Strawberries don't have a long history in our country. This dish really demonstrates how quickly cultures adopt new ingredients into their eating habits. This has become a staple in the urban street food scene. If you ask a random person in Bangladesh about strawberries, the first thing that might come to their minds is a
What the?
Yes, that's right.
And the beauty of this dish is in its simplicity and the uniqueness of its flavor that hits you from the very first bite. So we hope you all give this a try and enjoy it as much as we do.
Okay, this is very cool because I can smell the spiciness, like not like spiciness, but the spiciness, you know what I mean, of the strawberries. I don't think I've ever had like a spiced strawberry. No, I don't think I have. This is cool. What? Wait, this is so interesting. Ooh, I like this a lot. I would have never thought that garlic and strawberries would go together, but here we are. This recipe called for black salt, and if you've never had black salt and you are somebody who likes salt, black salt is for you. Black salt is like regular salt, but saltier, and it's really good on raw vegetables and fruit. And I've had this a lot in Indian food when we've had like raw onions. I put black salt on them, even mangoes. I just love coriander. I can't believe that there are people out there who think it tastes like soap. And it makes me so sad because not only is it a beautiful garnish, but I just think the flavor is so bright and beautiful whenever you add it to something. It just elevates it. Honestly, uh-oh. The coriander's stuck in my tooth right now. Oh, man, coriander, I was just talking you up. It's so interesting for me to learn that strawberries are so new to the Bangladeshi food landscape, but they're already being incorporated into things as commonplace as street food, and the flavors feel very typical of that region. One world united by strawberries at this point, right? We're gonna take a strawberry break and talk about the sponsor for today's video, HelloFresh. I am making the cheesy fried eggs over a potato hash. I like working with HelloFresh because their recipes are honestly delicious. Every week, their menu changes and you can try cooking different dishes from all around the world. The step-by-step recipes are really easy to follow and everything is pre-portioned, so prep time is very, very small. If you have certain dietary restrictions, HelloFresh has veggie, pescatarian, fit, and wholesome meals that make it easy to stick to your goals. And if you're worried about all of the packaging, HelloFresh is the first carbon-neutral meal kit company, and nearly all of their packaging is recyclable. I have to cook a lot for this channel, so HelloFresh is actually something that I use when I need a more casual night in and I don't want to think about what's for dinner. And this dish came together really, really quickly, and it looks beautiful. Just like the photo? Yeah, I think so. Anything with a pickle red onion is amazing in my book. We're just gonna... These are even easier than my recipe. Pico and eggs are just like a match made in heaven. If you are interested in trying out HelloFresh, go to HelloFresh.com, use my code Beryl16 for up to 16 free meals plus 3 surprise gifts. Okay, let's go back to the strawberries. Yay!
Hi everyone, my name is Fernanda and I live in Chile. The recipe I want to share with you today it calls Borgoña. Borgoña is an alcoholic drink prepared with red wine, strawberries and sugar. It is simple, sweet and refreshing. Actually, some people compare it with sangria. Usually, we make this drink in September during our homeland holidays and during the summer months to take advantage of the strawberry season. But we can find Borgoña in some traditional bars the rest of the year. My grandmother used to make it when we had family parties. Now, my dad usually prepares it on his birthday. If you're not a big fan of wine, like me, I would say you'll still like this drink because the strawberries add something special to it. I recommended to try it because it has two of our most popular ingredients, strawberries and wine. So I think you can taste part of Chile with this drink. Espero que lo disfrutes mucho. Salud.
We just have a cheeky little drink right now to break up the meals. It tastes like strawberries, like a strawberry wine. Okay, let me get comfortable now that I have my glass of wine. Ugh. No, I can't. Stool's too small. I'm gonna tell you the truth here. I really like putting ice cubes in red wine, and I don't care who's gonna yell at me. I think it's quite enjoyable. Like a cold red wine, especially in the summer, is really nice. And I'm not saying to buy like $100 bottle of red wine and put ice cubes in it, although if it needed to be cold, maybe I would. I'm just saying. It tastes like a strawberry sangria, and it's honestly absolutely fabulous. All right, cheers. Next dish, huh?
Hi, my name is Justy and I live in Ontario, Canada. And I was born into a Mennonite community in Mexico. My family moved here to Canada when I was still quite young. And the strawberry dish that I want to share with you is a special treat from my culture called strawberry rollkuchen. And rollkuchen means rolled cookie, but it's not really a cookie. It's more like a fry bread. It's made with a soft dough rolled out thinly, filled with strawberries and sugar, and then it's deep fried until the shell is golden and the strawberries inside have combined with the sugar to make an amazing syrup. Rollkuchen can also be made without any filling at all using the exact same dough recipe, and this is maybe more common eaten alongside fresh watermelon. But when my mom would take the time to fill the rollkuchen with strawberries, it was a really special treat. My family is Mexican Mennonite, which originally started as a religion and has morphed over the years into a culture combined with those beliefs, where we have our own traditional foods, we speak Low German, and different groups in the Mennonite culture may have their own dress code and traditions. Our ancestors were nomads, and as far back as I can trace in our history, we've traveled from Western Europe, and every second or third generation my ancestors would pack up everything, move to a different country, traveling east across Europe until we reached the Ukraine. Then we hopped over to Canada, and a few generations later my grandparents moved to Mexico, where my parents and I were born. And now my family's back here in Canada. Because of our wandering past, we've picked up food dishes from many different countries and incorporated them into our culture, so I'm not entirely sure if rollkuchen is an original Mennonite dish or if we adopted it from another country. I learned this recipe from my mom, who does not follow recipes, but has all of our traditional recipes stored in her head. And one day I decided to sit down beside her as she was cooking, and I made her measure everything out so I could record these recipes. And rollkuchen is just one of the many things that I was able to record, and I'm thankful for the chance to preserve this legacy. Every time I make rollkuchen, I feel connected to my culture in a very special way. If you love strawberries and are looking for a special treat, this is worth making because it tastes like summer.
Okay, this is interesting now. Justy said that her ancestors traveling east
across Europe until we reached the Ukraine.
This dish was made almost exactly like the Ukrainian Vareniki from the first dish that we made. The dough is a little bit different, but I mean, you could have kind of swapped the footage for both and you wouldn't have necessarily known what was what. Obviously, the Vareniki were boiled and these were deep fried, but you can see the similarities between the dishes and how Justy's ancestors may have seen this, reinterpreted it, moved along. So cool. Whoa. I mean, this is fried bread stuffed with sweet strawberries and sugar. I still have the wine. I am now out of white flour, which means I need to buy more flour. And the fact that I'm even saying that I need to buy flour is upsetting for those of you who have been following along with the flour drama. I'm just gonna have one more. I had a couple that I didn't seal enough and all of a sudden it was like, and all of this stuff was coming out of it in the deep fryer. So if you're gonna try this, I would recommend drying your hands before you go to seal them because the liquid from the strawberries made my fingers wet. So when I was sealing the dough, it didn't stick as well. Strawberries to me are just such a joyful fruit. It's hard to have anything with fresh strawberries in it and be glum about it. They're just like beautiful looking and the flavor is so sweet and I don't know. I've had a lot of strawberries recently, but I'm really, really enjoying it. I'm still just so into the similarities between this and the Ukrainian Vareniki. I just think, wow, that's freaking cool. Never would I have ever thought. Nope.
My name is Eveline. I am from Indonesia and I live in Surabaya, Indonesia. For this episode about strawberries, I would like to talk to you about sambal strawberry or strawberry chili sauce. Sambal, by its definition, is essentially spicy. It can range from very subtle heat to the super spicy, like the one you did about the dead noodle from Indonesia. Sambal is staple in every meal to most of Indonesian people and usually very dearly missed by Indonesian who lives abroad. One of the most common sambal is sambal tomat, which uses tomato crushed with chili. The tomato gives a fresh tang and sweetness to balance the spiciness of the chili. Then, a few years ago, one of these agro-tourism places that have strawberry field modified their sambal and start using strawberry instead of tomato, and it took off. One of my friends who lives abroad came home to Indonesia for a visit. She, like any Indonesian living abroad, missed sambal very much. Then she took me on a journey to try this new sambal she heard of from some social media posts. At that time, I was not really fond of sambal because back then I couldn't handle the heat. But my friend enjoyed it very much. Few years gone by and then I was pregnant with my son. I suddenly developed some taste and craving for sambal, and one of them is sambal strawberry. Eventually, I am able to appreciate sambal and spicy food. Whether you like spicy food or not, I recommend you to try the sambal strawberry. Make it mild, make it hot, as much as you can handle it. Eat with some fried food over hot rice. Yum! Selamat makan!
A spicy strawberry sambal from Indonesia. Honestly, I can't say I'm surprised at this point because it feels perfectly on brand that we've got chicken, rice, and something spicy in the middle. I love it. I don't know what this is gonna taste like, honestly. It's spicy. The strawberry with this garlic spiciness is, plus the chicken. Hold on, I need to try this again. I'm speechless. The woman was too stunned to speak. This is awesome. It's spicy and sweet, and then you have like the fattiness of the chicken that's just pairing really well with the heat. I'm going in again, people. I think I never really thought about strawberries outside of desserts. And in doing this episode, I feel like I've really learned a lot, and I kind of am looking at strawberries differently. And this one especially is super awesome. No strawberry I knew before, you know? This was good chicken. You know what I'm gonna do with the leftover fried chicken? If you know, tell me in the comments. It is official that I think we need to do another fruit episode. I'm linking the mango episode here, and this is just whatever YouTube decided. Let me know in the comments what we should do. I will be reading them all, and I will see you all in my next video.